Many, many years ago, when we were young, Charlie and Josh, which was never, technically,
Yep.
but many years ago when we were young, we had a cassette tape of a story called The Three Investigators and the Mystery of the Stuttering Parrot. I think it was perhaps my favourite of the cassette tapes that we had.
Yeah.
Now, Secret Evermore was quite good.
Yeah.
Super Ted was okay. But for me, my favourite, The Three Investigators and the Mystery of the Stuttering Parrot. And it turns out that, unbeknownst to us at that age, there was in fact another cassette tape out there of The Three Investigators in another exciting adventure called The Three Investigators and the Secret of Terror Castle. Now, we've never heard this tape before.
Oh, God.
But
I'm so excited.
But thanks to the YouTuber Ian R81, thank you, Ian.
Thank you.
Thanks,
so
Ian.
much.
We have tracked down a copy of it, well, an MP3, and we're going to listen to it now. So join us as we listen to The Three Investigators and the Secret of Terror Castle. Very excited.
Very exciting. If it's anything like the case of the Stuttering Parrot, it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah.
And not at all racist.
We'll be providing commentary along the way. Let us know if you think of anything funny in the comments. You ready?
Like
That's I don't know. Can you hear okay?
Yeah.
Longer intro than I remember, has to be
Pardon?
said. It's a longer intro than I remember.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so atmospheric though. It's gonna kick off.
Alfred Hitchcock presents The Three Investigators in The Secret of Terror Castle.
Okay, that's all a lie. Hitchcock had been dead
Written
for
by
5
Robert
years
Arthur
by the time this cassette
and
tape was made.
dramatized by
Complete lie. Yeah.
My name is Alfred Hitchcock.
That's a lie. This is an actor.
I am a teller of tales of terror.
That's a great line though.
Those of you who are easily frightened should listen no further.
It's not scary. I don't think
Those
they're
of
gonna
you
be scary.
who think you are brave, now is the time to prove it.
This is.
The story you are about to hear happened in the 1960s, before any of you were born. I was not entirely unknown, a director of thriller movies in Hollywood, in the United
Is he in
States.
it? This
of
one? Is he in it?
One day, my secretary sent two boys into my office. They presented me with a printed card, which I read aloud.
Of course.
The Three Investigators. We investigate anything. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Pause. Okay. What kind of business card is that? What business card has question marks
Yeah.
on it?
Who doesn't know if they investigate stuff? We investigate anything.
We investigate anything? Okay, you can tell that they're children.
I love stuff like that, like which I read aloud for you. I couldn't read it to
Because
myself.
Alfred Hitchcock, the world famous director, could not read things in his head.
And he's got so much time to like read business cards from children about their detective agency. Like, what secretary is like, this is super relevant. Here you go. You need to see these.
Okay. Resume.
First investigator, Jupiter Jones.
That's me, Mr. Hitchcock.
Second investigator, Peter Crenshaw.
That's me.
Records and research, Bob Andrews.
Bob is not with us because he's doing research at the moment. He is somewhat handicapped in operations requiring athletic prowess, as he is suffering from the after effects of a badly broken leg. However, as he works part-time at the library, he is eminently suitable as a researcher.
No doubt. But what are you doing here in my office? I do not require the services of one investigator, let alone three.
Jupe thinks you do, Mr. Hitchcock.
Duke does he?
Dupe.
The gate man has
Oh,
strict
wait.
instructions not to allow strangers in to see me.
Well, I can explain that, Mr. Hitchcock. I was fortunate enough to win a competition.
Jupe is really very clever. You can tell from the way
He's
he speaks.
so lucky.
He's got a great brain.
And
That's
a
the
great
second
impudence.
competition in 2
I'm sorry
takes
you
that
should
he's
feel that
won.
way, Mr. Hitchcock. You see, the prize for being successful in the competition was the loan of a Rolls-Royce sedan automobile for 30 days.
It's the same thing. That's the same
I can't be
competition.
old enough to drive.
That is true, Mr. Hitchcock. But the Rolls came complete with its own chauffeur to drive us.
And its own telephone.
I'm impressed.
And so was the man on the studio gate. He was so impressed to see us arrive in such a smart English auto, driven by a smart English chauffeur called Worthington, that he thought we must be related to you, Mr. Hitchcock, as you are such a smart English film director. So he let us in.
I see. Well now, you can both get back into your smart English auto and ask your smart English chauffeur to drive you smartly away. I'm
You
very
tell him,
busy.
Hitchcock.
We know that, Mr. Hitchcock, and we are here to help you. That is why we gave you our card.
The 3 investigators, question mark, question mark, question mark. May I ask what the question marks are for? Do they indicate a doubt in your own ability?
No, sir.
We just made that joke, Alfred.
They are our trademark. They are symbolical of questions to be answered, of mysteries to be solved. And if we wish to indicate to each other where we have been, we leave a small chalk question mark, a different color for each of us.
Most original.
What?
And the question marks on the card make people ask questions, like you did, sir. And that helps them remember
Oh,
us.
that's so
I
stupid.
see. You are publicity-minded.
A business cannot succeed if people don't know about it.
A statement which cannot be disputed. But speaking of business, you have not yet stated yours.
We want to find a haunted house for you, sir.
A haunted house? What makes you think I want a haunted house?
We understand you want to find an authentic haunted house to use in your next suspense picture, sir.
Suspense
The 3
picture.
investigators
A
desire to
suspense
assist you in the
picture.
search.
I have people searching for a proper house at this moment all over America. I'm sure they'll find me the right house for my purposes.
But if we could find you the right house here in California, it would be a lot simpler to make your picture here, sir.
I'm sorry, my lad. It's out of the question.
We don't want any money, sir. But all famous detectives have someone write up their cases for people to read. Sherlock Holmes, Ellery Queen, Hercule Poirot, all of them.
How many of those people are real people and real detectives?
Well, Poirot certainly was not.
No.
Holmes was not.
No.
Ellery Quinn, I'm assuming, was not.
So it's
Oh,
like
my
in
word.
this fact.
Jupiter Jones can't tell the difference between fact and fiction. He makes up words, can't tell the difference between fact and fiction. And he wants Alfred Hitchcock to hire him as an investigator.
No, they're not even really investigating anything.
No.
They're doing location scouting work. Like, we'll just location scout for you. Like, we'll find you a real haunted house. I don't think you will. I don't think you will find him a real haunted house.
And what's crazy? No, Jupiter Jones, clearly an idiot. He's the first investigator. Pete Crenshaw or whatever. Pete,
Yeah,
whatever his name is.
probably,
Yeah. No, he's not. He must be stupider than Jupiter Jones. Bob is even stupider than him, and he can't even walk.
I bet Bob's probably really smart, and if he was there,
True.
he would have actually taken hold of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I
Are
think-
you suggesting that Jupiter Jones broke
Broke
Bob's
his leg, yeah.
To prevent
I
him
think
from meeting Alfred
The
Hitchcock.
power of having a Rolls Royce and a driver has gone to Jupiter's head, and he thinks he's the #1 detective.
Do you hear that? If you listen very carefully, you can just about make out the sound of Alfred Hitchcock spinning in his grave.
I hope not.
Ready? Resume.
I have deduced that that is how they become famous. In order to get potential customers to know about the 3 investigators, we will have our cases written up by the father of our other partner, Bob Andrews. He works for a newspaper, and he will turn our adventures into a play and record them.
Whoa.
Well,
Is that
Mr.
this, then?
Hitchcock, I thought if you could just introduce our first case.
You certainly do have a cheek.
We're very well organized, Mr. Hitchcock. We've got a secret headquarters hidden away at Jupe's uncle's scrapyard.
Pete is more stupid than Jupiter! Pete is more stupid! Oh my god.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
I wouldn't trust these kids to find their own house.
No.
Never mind a haunted house.
Come on, Pete, pull yourself together.
We've also got a secret password, Mr. Hitchcock. It's mushrooms. Okay, resume.
It won't be a secret long if you tell everyone, Pete.
Mr. Hitchcock isn't everyone, Jupe.
Thank you for that.
And Pete is right, sir. We are well organized. We've built ourselves a very well-equipped headquarters out of an old trailer in my uncle's scrapyard. And we've had a telephone installed that we've paid for by doing chores for my uncle.
That's needless
And for 30
information.
days, we have the rolls for transport. All we need
Pause.
is our...
You can trust us, Mr. Hitchcock. We've got a telephone. We literally work in a scrapyard. But don't worry, we've got a telephone. I know this is set in the 60s. Resume.
First case, Mr. Hitchcock, just so we can get started.
Very well. I certainly admire your initiative. If you can come up with an interesting story, I'll introduce whatever you write about your case.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Hitchcock. Then you want us to investigate the haunted house situation for you?
Oh, yes, I suppose so. I don't promise to use it, even if you find it. But investigate by all means.
You won't regret it, Mr. Hitchcock. Bob Andrews is researching at this very moment. By the time we get back to our headquarters, he'll be ready to give us his first report on Terror Castle.
Town Castle is located in a narrow little canyon up above Hollywood called Black Canyon. It was originally called Terrell's Castle because it was built by a movie star named Stephen Terrell. He was a big star back in the silent film days before talking pictures were invented. He used to play in all kinds of scary pictures about vampires and werewolves, stuff like that. He built his house to look like the haunted castle, just like the ones in his pictures, and filled with weird things that came from the different pictures he'd acted in.
Very promising, Bob.
That depends on what you're promising. What became of this Stephen Terrell?
He was known all over the world as a man with a million faces. Then talking pictures were invented, and people discovered he had a squeaky, high-pitched voice and lisped.
Great, a monster
Poor
with
Stephen
lips and a
Terrell.
squeaky voice. They must have laughed themselves right out of their seats.
That's just what they did, and Stephen Terrell had to stop making pictures. He sent away his servants, even sent away his best friend, his business manager, Mr. Jonathan Rex. He shut himself up in his castle and brooded. People began to forget about him. Then one day a wrecked car was discovered. It had run off the road and crashed down over the cliffs, almost into the ocean.
What did that have to do with Stephen Terrell?
The police traced the license number and learned that the car belonged to Terrell. They didn't find his body, but that wasn't surprising. It would have washed away at high tide.
Pause. Just going to state my claim right now. I reckon Stephen Tarrow didn't die in the accident. Still alive.
Yeah.
That's what I reckon.
Yeah.
If I'm right, I reserve the right to say, called it.
I'll let that happen.
Okay,
don't worry.
thank you. Resume.
Gee, do you think he drove off the cliff on purpose?
Police weren't sure. But when they went to the castle, the door was wide open and they found a note which said, "I copied it out. Here it is."
Though the world will never see me alive again, my spirit will never leave this place. The castle will be forever accursed, and it was signed Stephen Terrell. Wow, the more I hear about this place, the less I like it.
On the contrary, it grows steadily more promising. Continue, Bob.
Well, the police never found any trace of Terrell, but it turned out that he owed the bank a lot of money, so they sent some men out to collect Stephen Terrell's possessions. But they became very nervous, although they couldn't say why, and wouldn't stay. One real estate agent went there to spend the night, just to prove it was all imagination. He ran out at midnight, so frightened, he ran all the way down the canyon.
Gee,
Go on. This is better than I hoped for.
Several other people
Alright,
tried to
dude.
spend the night. A movie star that did it for the publicity. She ran out even before midnight, her teeth chattering so hard she could hardly talk. All she could do was whimper about a blue phantom and a fog of fear.
nothing else, huh? No headless horseman? No ghost with clanking chains? No.
If you'd let Bob finish, we'd be able to proceed faster.
It
As far as I'm concerned, he is finished. I don't want
Meow,
to hear any more.
Jupiter.
Anything else,
He
Bob?
is such
Well,
a dick.
just another incident of the same kind. Muffled screams from underneath the castle, a misty figure walking up the stairs. A lot of people reported having heard weird music coming from the ruined pipe organ in the music room. And several actually saw a ghostly figure, a sort of shimmery blue blob, playing the organ. They named it the Blue Phantom. No train will go within a mile of the place.
I'm not surprised. You couldn't hire me to go there.
Nevertheless,
That's literally what you're doing. That's literally what you're doing. Pete, come on!
Oh, man.
Pete's the most stupid, I think.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Is this it, Worthington?
I fear we can proceed no further in the rolls, Master Jones. This rockfall bars our passage. But it is my impression that the castle should be just around that turning ahead.
Thank you, Worthington. Come on, Pete. We'll walk the rest of the way. Have you got the tape recorder?
If I have to use it, all you'll hear will be the sound of chattering teeth.
We'll be back in an hour, Worthington.
If we're lucky.
We've just left Bob at home, have we?
Yeah, he's
Just-
broken his
yeah, I
leg. He
suppose.
can't do long.
Looks scary. I think we ought to come by daylight, Jupe, so we can find our way around.
Nothing happens here in the daytime. It's only at night that this place scares people out of their wits.
I don't want to be scared out of my wits. I'm half that way already.
So am I. I feel as if I'd swallowed some butterflies.
Then let's go back. We've done enough for one night.
Alright, you've not done anything!
More plans.
I've
Not
already
even
made
there
my
yet.
plans. My plans are to stay in Terror Castle for 1 hour tonight. Come on.
What's that?
Just a jackrabbit. We frightened it.
We frightened it? What do you think it did to me?
Forward, Pete. Here we are. The entrance to Terror Castle.
Wow, there's a bat round my head.
Bats only eat
You seem
insects.
really calm about it.
People.
You were
frightened of a
absolutely
rabbit.
Change of diet.
Wow.
Why take
There's a
chances?
bat round my head.
Here's the door. We just have to walk through it.
I wish I could get my legs to believe that. They think we ought to go back.
Well, so do mine. But my legs take orders from me. Come on.
Unlike Bob's.
Music?
Probably
I
just
do hear that.
imagination.
What if it was the ruined pipe organ being played by the Blue Phantom?
Then we certainly want to hear it. Let's enter.
Pardon me.
Pardon?
I said pardon me.
We're here. This is the main hall. We'll stay 1 hour, then we'll leave.
Did you hear that? The Phantom told us
Hold
to
me.
Wait. As I thought. Merely an echo. And it only works when you stand in the exact middle of the hallway. The walls are circular. Mr. Terrell built it this way specially. He called it the Echo Room.
I was just kidding. I knew it was an echo all along.
That's horrible.
You did. But please don't do it again.
I won't.
Shine your flashlight on the wall over there. That's right.
Gee, it's covered with pictures.
Yes. They all appear to be of the same man wearing different costumes.
I suppose they're all pictures of Stephen Terrell, playing different roles from his films.
I guess so.
Gee whiskers.
What is it, Pete?
That picture of the one-eyed pirate. That one eye is real. It's looking at us.
Where?
There, look.
No. It's just a painted eye like all the others.
I guess I was wrong, but I certainly thought I saw it blink. Hey, you feel what I feel?
Pause. Is Pete coming on to Jupiter?
Seriously.
Jupiter, me and you all alone in this haunted mansion. Hold me, Jupiter.
It's getting chilly. I'm so scared.
Do you feel what I feel? Resume.
Very cold. Cold spots are frequently found in haunted houses.
Then this one is haunted. I feel a cold draft as if a whole parade of ghosts were rushing by. I've got goose flesh. I'm scared.
Look, mist forming in the air.
It's a ghost materializing.
Come on, back to the car. Run! Run!
You knew it was a risk when you went in there.
It's like Bob did all that research for nothing.
Poor Bob.
Here you are, Master Jones. Back home at your uncle's scrapyard.
Thank you, Worthington.
Yes. Thank you for getting us away from Terror Castle.
Better luck next time, Master Jones. I must say, I enjoy this kind of assignment. It's quite a change from driving for fat bankers and rich old
Ooh.
ladies. Good night, Master Jones.
Right. Let's get over to our headquarters. Bob will be waiting for us.
What was it that happened exactly, Pete? What made you run from Terror Castle tonight? I don't know exactly. First I began to feel uneasy. After a while I was feeling extremely nervous. All of a sudden, the extreme nervousness became sheer terror, and I wanted to run.
Your experience was exactly the same as mine. We actually saw and heard nothing to frighten us, yet we felt frightened. The question is why?
What do you mean, why? Any old deserted house is frightening, and the place is so scary it would frighten spooks.
Perhaps that is the answer. We must visit Terror Castle again and...
There's that phone they installed.
Oh, yeah?
A telephone!
Who could call us?
Loads of
No one
people.
knows our number.
What's the
We
point of
haven't had
having
it
it?
long enough to be listed in the telephone book. Hadn't we better answer it?
Yeah. Hello? 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 No one there. Must have been a wrong number. Hello?
Hello,
Hello?
it's me.
Stay away. Stay away. Stay away from Terror Castle.
I've been thinking about that phone call we had last night. It seems to me we have a problem. In fact, we have two problems.
I can tell you how to solve our problems. Just pick up that phone and call Mr. Hitchcock and tell him we've decided not to find a haunted house for him.
Pause. It doesn't have to be an actual haunted
No.
house, Holly.
No.
Zoom.
Tell him we break out into lumps of goose flesh whenever we go near one. Tell him our legs go all wobbly and start running on their own accord.
I will ignore those remarks, Pete. While Bob is busy at the library, we will endeavor to solve our problems. First, we must determine who made that phone call last night.
Not who. What? Was it a phantom or a spook or werewolf?
No.
Or just a disembodied spirit?
It was a man.
Disembodied spirits
Just a
are not
man
known to use
putting on a
telephones.
voice.
Why would it be a
That was in the
werewolf?
old days. Why didn't they change with the times and be modern too? That voice last night didn't sound like a human voice to me.
I
I think it
agree.
was. I think it
The whole
definitely
problem is made
did.
more perplexing by the fact that, except for us in Worthington, not a living soul knew of our visit to Terror Castle last night.
But what about souls who aren't living?
If Terror Castle is actually haunted, we wish to prove it. And if Stephen Terrell is the one who put a curse on the castle, then presumably it's his ghost haunting the place now.
That sounds reasonable.
Our first line of action, then, is to locate someone who knew Stephen Terrell in the days when he was a silent picture star and who can tell us more about him.
But that was a long time ago. Who'd we find?
Our best bet would be Mr. Terrell's business manager, the Whisperer.
The Whisperer? What kind of name is that?
That was his nickname. His real name was Jonathan Rex. Here's a picture of him and Stephen Terrell that Bob copied for us at the library.
Wow, so that was what Stephen Terrell looked like? He didn't have to do any acting to scare people. With that terrible scar and a bald head and those eyes, They would freeze the guy in his tracks.
You're looking
Baldness
at
is
the wrong
frightening,
one.
apparently.
Mr. Terrell is the smaller man, the one who looks so friendly and harmless.
Him? He's the one who played all those ferocious monsters? The nice-looking guy?
Well, apparently, off the motion picture set, Stephen Terrell was so shy because of his lisp, he could hardly talk to people. So he hired the Whisperer to handle all his business affairs. The Whisperer had no trouble getting people to agree to the terms he desired.
I'll bet he didn't. He looks as if he would draw a knife on a person if anyone said no.
If we can locate him, I'm sure he can tell us all we need to know. Look him up in the telephone books, Pete, while I phone for Worthington and the Rolls.
Pause. So far, it's been the two investigators.
Yeah.
The two investigators and one guy who
Bob.
is always at the library.
Yeah. Poor Bob.
Maybe they just have Bob so they can justify that third question mark.
Yeah.
Resume.
This is the mountain road that leads to Mr. Jonathan Rex's residence, Master Jones.
Good work, Worthington.
Thank you, sir.
It's lucky for us that Jonathan Rex still lives in the neighborhood.
Yes. And I
Yes,
have
it
an
is.
idea. Worthington,
Sir?
I believe this road will pass within a mile of the entrance of Black Canyon and Terror Castle.
That is so, Master Jones.
Then let's pay a quick visit to Black Canyon on the way. There's something I want to ascertain. There's Terror Castle again.
To think we went into that place after dark. Wow.
And came out in rather a hurry.
You can say that again.
As a matter of fact, we're going back in again, right now, and have a look around by daylight.
Which was Pete's idea from the start.
There! Rolling down the side of the mountain towards us. A gigantic boulder. It'll crush us.
Wait, stand still. It'll miss us by some yards.
Gee whiskers. If that boulder had hit us, Terror Castle would have had some new ghosts tonight.
Look! There's someone up on that slope hiding behind the bushes. I'll bet he rolled that stone down on us.
If he did, we'll teach him better manners. Come on, Jupe. Let's get
That's what he needs, teaching better manners.
From two children.
Like...
Can you still see him, Pete?
No, he must be hiding. Look, above us. The whole side of the canyon is coming down on top.
What?
Get into this.
Doesn't sound that bad. Are they trapped now?
Jupe, we can't... Get out. We're trapped.
Pause. This illustrates the inherent problem with audiobooks. Particularly audiobooks without a narrator. Whereby the characters have to do a lot of exposition. The canyon's coming down, Jupiter. We'll be crushed. Such natural dialogue,
Yeah,
you know?
isn't it?
So lifelike and realistic.
How everybody
That's how
speaks.
they talk.
That's the difference between, I guess, an audiobook and a play. An audio
Yeah,
play.
yeah. Resume.
We'll suffocate.
Breathe through your handkerchief until the dust settles. Don't worry about the air. This crevice must go a long way into the hillside, so there's plenty of air in here for now. But our exit appears to be effectively barricaded.
Even at a time like this, you use long words? You say we can't get out. We're stuck.
I won't say we can't get out because that fact remains to be proved.
He is
Look
so
at there.
smug. Like, he
You can
is
see
so
daylight through
smug.
that tiny
Like,
hole.
Worthington, I think you'll find that
Not
this
until we make the hole
road
bigger.
goes past Black Canyon.
Fortunately, someone has been in this
I
crevice
won't
before us
say.
and left a stick
I
behind.
need to ascertain. I want to ascertain something.
With it. I should be able to disturb a rock. There. The hole is bigger. A little more poking, and the hole will be big enough for us to get through.
Jupe, you're a genius.
Please. I simply endeavor to exercise my native intelligence to its fullest ability. Now help me enlarge this hole so that we can get out and return to
Oh,
Worthington
my
and the Rolls
lord.
and
Did
continue
Aaron
our
Sorkin
journey to
write
the
this? It's like something out of a West Wing or something.
Oh, God. My native intelligence to its natural ability.
Reached the end of the road, Master Jones. but I do not see any habitation.
There's a mailbox. It says Rex, 915. The house must be around here somewhere.
There are some rocky steps going up the hillside. They must lead to Jonathan Rex's house. Stay here, Worthington.
Sir?
We'll go and visit with the Whisperer.
I don't think you should refer to him by his nickname until you are at least introduced to him.
Yeah.
Do not answer the door and be like, are you the Whisperer?
Gee, you've climbed a long way. What's all that noise?
Birds. Parakeets. Look, by the side of the house. Cages of them.
And look there, a man with a bald head.
And a terrible scar.
He's got an axe in his hand. It's razor sharp.
Right where you are. Don't move a step. Do you hear?
He's coming towards us.
Stand absolutely still, boys. Don't move if you value your lives.
Shoot, what do? He's going to throw the axe.
Oh, well, that's the end of side one.
Ah!
What have we learned so far? Well, one, that every single word in The Three Investigators is wrong apart from the. They do no investigating and there's basically just two of them. Also, frankly, I sympathise with the guy who tried to kill Jupiter Jones.
Literally, you could tell Jupiter Jones would be someone who humble brags all the time, like all the time.
Thank you for joining us as we listen to the first side of The Three Investigators and the Secret of Terror Castle. Join us next time when we listen to side 2.